Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey, it's great to hear from you.
You too.
Finally, we get some time to talk. I love it.
Absolutely.
So, Stephanie, why don't you start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself? Tell us where you live, how you got involved in egg freezing, the whole jazz.
Okay, so it's kind of a loaded question here. My name's Stephanie Montgomery. I am currently 37 years old. Um, how did I get involved? Well, I can tell you that the hamster wheels in my brain started rolling probably about 10 years ago, and it was a joke that my mother had made when I couldn't seem to find the right guy. She had made a comment, "Why don't you get your eggs frozen, Steph?" And at that time, I didn't even realize it was really a thing, or thought I would be worthwhile me taking the time to look into it. So I just kind of laughed it off. Well, I don't know. About 2 years ago,
What year was
hadn't
this?
found Mr. 2 years ago.
2017?
I'd say 2017. Yes, I think the idea started becoming more than just an idea. I hadn't found Mr. Right, and started kind of thinking a little bit more seriously about it. Started thinking a little bit more about the biological clock. I'd been hearing a little bit more about the egg freezing and other women doing it, online or just in my social networks. So I ended up scheduling a consult with a doctor in Pittsburgh.
Great. That's awesome. And how did you feel after that doctor consult? Did they take your blood? Did they do an ultrasound? What happened?
No, initially it was just a consult to kind of explore the finance piece of it. And it was astronomical. Unfortunately, it wasn't something I felt that I was able to support financially on my own. So it was a little discouraging, but then I had come up with an idea initially of having a giant baby shower, and this would replace whatever baby shower in the future that I may have, that I would invite all of my friends and all of my family to come to the shower and give me money as gifts instead of things, obviously, so that I could pay for this. Well, that was the initial idea. It then kind of grew and turned into this giant, let's invite everyone, men and women, and kind of make it like stag and drag kind of setup. And from there, I kind of hit the ground running, and I decided I was going to have a giant fundraiser for myself. And
you even made the news.
Planning. Pardon?
You even made like the Philadelphia news.
Yes. The Philadelphia news. Oh,
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know it was in news here in Erie. And I know that somebody from Chicago actually came up from the event and did a little clip on it. But it ended up being called Steph's Extravagant Event. And I ran it and I don't think a lot of you might be familiar with Stag and Drag, because I think that's an Erie thing.
Oh.
But it's basically a giant party that men and women come to. You have raffles, you have Chinese auction baskets. It's just a way for married couples actually to raise money for honeymoon purposes.
Oh, cute.
So I ended up doing something similar to myself. For myself, I found the venue. I had a great team of women. It turned into a pretty big women empowerment movement here. So I had a lot of support, surprisingly, from people who had never heard of this before, egg freezing, and or anybody throwing a fundraiser for themselves for it.
Yeah.
So it was incredibly empowering. It was also incredibly emotional, because I was completely putting myself out there. Hello, single Steph, desperate for money so I can freeze my eggs.
I know.
Kind of weird concept.
Very brave of you. And you got a great response.
I did get a great response. I had a couple hundred people came, I would say. I didn't actually do a count. I raised over $11,000.
Amazing.
Which ended up being enough to cover the procedure, fortunately. And, to kind of, I don't want to say make a difference, it seems so cliche, but to kind of take a stand and encourage other women. I wish I would have done this well, number one, when my mom joked about it 10 years ago, but I wish I would have started thinking about this when I was 35 at the very latest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what age did you actually freeze?
So the fundraiser, Steph's Extravagant Event, was last March. This would have been 2018 was when the event was. I ended up quickly having the procedure in May. 2018. So this was last year,
Yeah.
and they were able to retrieve 18 mature eggs.
That's great. That's awesome. How did you feel going through the whole like STEM process? Was it what you expected? Were you more emotional than you thought you would be?
You know, I I don't think I was more emotional. I think I might have been a little kind of like you are when you're in your woman's cycle and
Yeah.
PMSing, but I don't think it was anything crazy. I think that, and I logged everything on Facebook. I documented, I videoed every single shot that I had given myself and kind of how I felt. No, I don't. And physically, the hardest part I think was initially having to give myself the injections. That was what the scariest piece was for me, and not being able to work out.
Yeah.
It's
You're
a
really
huge
big
part
with
of my life.
working out. Yeah. You love working out.
I do. It's a huge part of my life. It's my medicine. So I was worried about gaining weight and, kind of taking a few steps back physically, but I didn't. I swam very lightly. I took it easy. I watched what I ate. After the first few injections, I was fine.
Yeah.
It kind of became natural. I don't want to say you get used to sticking yourself in the gut with a needle, but you do. It didn't.
It turned into a
scary
routine. It turned into a routine. It was then just your new norm for a little while.
Right.
So neat. Well, Steph, you've just been a huge advocate for egg freezing and just talking about how it's going to work for you and how it's worked for you. And what would be some of your advice you would give women that are debating the topic and whether they should do it at all? I mean, especially because like the money piece was such a big component for you and you like solved that problem. I always say where there's a will, there's a way. And like you totally found a way. It's awesome.
I did. I would suggest doing it. Don't wait for Mr. Right. And again, it wasn't, I always wanted to want children. Even to this day, I don't get googly over everybody else's children. I just don't. But I wanted the opportunity. And the older that I get, I realized that window becomes smaller and smaller. And I didn't want to ever feel pressured to have to choose or to have to settle. I wanted the opportunity to have children on my terms, on my time. And I would, even if you're 30 years old and you think Mr. Right's going to walk in your door next year, you don't know. We just don't know. We don't have that crystal ball. I would encourage you to at least have that consult, talk to your doctor, find out the facts, and start looking at funds. Maybe start saving for it,
Just in case.
Throw another fundraiser or throw a fundraiser like I did. My gosh, it was successful. If I'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways that family and friends want to contribute and help, and this is just a great platform that if you're willing to be bold and say, hey, this is what I need to save for, and you're willing to put yourself out there like that, like it's very beneficial.
I mean, come on, there are people having fundraisers to help married couples go on honeymoon.
Yeah.
Why not start a routine of having fundraisers for the single working, successful, motivated woman who wants a family someday, right?
Yeah.
So my only advice would be don't wait. Don't wait for Mr. Right. Don't think that I hope it happens for everybody, obviously, but don't think that it is. Take the bull by the horns and do what you got to do if you want a family someday or want the option of having one.
Yeah, I think the option's really key. I mean, when you said that resonated with me because I don't get googly over other people's kids. I mean, I even have godkids. My brother's, having a first grandchild in our family. But I'm like, yeah, that's nice. But I don't know that I really feel that desire. I don't know.
Right.
I think meeting the right person might totally change that. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. And, this isn't my goal, but you would have the option of having a child on your own. There are women that do that. I've met one since then who froze her eggs and had a child on her own. That is not my goal. I do not want to have a kid, be a single mom, but to some women, they want a child so much, you would have the ability.
Well,
so
and it's giving you the opportunity to change your mind.
Right. Absolutely. And, the doctor said if I did find Mr. Right in the next year or so, he still might encourage me to use my own eggs if it was this year. But if
Yeah, you
Again,
can always
I
try
have no pressure.
naturally, and if naturally doesn't work or you have a bunch of miscarriages, you can fall back on the eggs.
Right. And if I don't use them, if I decide that it just wasn't for me and it's not in my deck of cards, then I will donate these eggs to somebody who needs them.
Yeah, or science and research. It's great. Wow. Well, it sounds like you have it all figured out. So where are you today? Like, what's new since freezing a year ago, plus a year ago? Does it feel like you, like when your egg anniversary came around? What did you feel? Like, did
My
it?
gosh, it is my egg anniversary. March.
That's awesome.
May. I guess I had the procedure,
May.
but it's the Steph's extravagant event
Yeah.
anniversary this month.
That's
Holy
great.
cow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm still where I am. I am dating somebody, and things are going well. Again, I take it day by day right now, and I can. There's no pressure, which is a beautiful thing. So I'm
Do you feel like
working.
it's changed how you date? Do you feel like it's relieved some of the pressure?
Yes, without a doubt. And I can't say I ever dated a million men just like really quickly to find one so I could get married. It wasn't like that, but it was always in the back of your mind.
Is this person my person?
Or if you're dating somebody for 3 months or 4 and you kind of not feeling it, or your gut's telling you he's not the right one, in the back of your mind you're going, well, I'm wasting time. That's 4 more months. So it was always there. Now, it's not, because I know I have time. I can have a kid for the next 5 years if I want to, maybe
Right.
even later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that you're just such a voice, and I really appreciate like even just our friendship over the last year and a half, like ever since you did this event and we became friends. I mean, like we have the Pennsylvania connection, so I already feel like, tons of good vibes here. But I just really appreciated your gumption and your like take charge attitude, like even though you saw the dollar bill of how much egg freezing costs, you're like, I'm not gonna let that deter me. It's really
and I can't
awesome.
thank you enough. You are a huge support, and that would be another piece of advice that I give to somebody, is to talk to somebody like yourself who is educated and experienced in the not just their own personal experience, but the bigger picture of it, right? Because it can be so complicated and so confusing,
Very,
and
very
you are a
complicated.
huge help in navigating the process and helping me to, not freak out in moments. And
Yeah, I remember you called me a couple of times when you were doing this certain shot because you were worried if you're going to get all the medicine out of it. And I was like, no, girl, you got this. Just having that camaraderie is so encouraging. I think that that's great. I mean, it's good advice. So, all right. Well, this has been so much fun to have this like quick little chat with you. Thanks for taking time out of your day to tell the world a little bit about your story. And we'll have to keep up with you online.
absolutely. And if anybody is interested in going to the Facebook page and watching like I said, I posted every video. I don't know how exciting it is, but if you're interested in seeing from start to finish kind of the experience, it is on Facebook. It's under Steph's Extravagant Experience, I believe is what it's called, but feel free to ask to join, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, it's a private group, right?
It is.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, Steph, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.